Second level spells, let's go. Hello there everyone, welcome back down here to the Gamer's Den with me, your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire. Joining me is my most adorable co-host, Finn, apprentice storyteller and uninitiated as yet to any circles of lore, but still, as always, maxing out his charisma score. And I think he might have a supernatural ability to use Charm Person, because he makes friends everywhere he goes. But speaking of spells, today we are going on with the first edition Pathfinder Magus guide. Today we are taking a look at their, second level spells. You saw the intro. We have a number of interesting options ready for you, as well as some regulars that you will see on other spell lists, but they're still worth talking about here. Now, before we get into everything we have on offer for you, if you're new here to the channel, go on down there, hit the subscribe button, and become a regular member here at the Gamer's Den. Or if you've already gone on ahead and listed yourself on such an incredible roster of legendary heroes, then go on down to hit the like button and share the video far and wide. Now, let's start moving into spells, and please, disregard the fact that it is a blazing hot day and I might appear to be half dead, and this one is missing a shirt. So, for your second level spells, first we're starting off with something I wish could actually happen a little bit more freely and in non-lethal terms. That's Frigid Touch. Touch target creature to deal 4d6 cold damage and stagger target for 1 round. On crit, target is staggered for 1 minute. There's no save to this, just spell resistance, and it's that no save that really makes this really good for you. Now, the fact that it's cold damage, well, it's the second most common immunity and resistance type as far as elemental damage goes, but it's still in a far safer category compared to fire damage. And the fact that this also has the kicker of staggering the target makes this even better. So definitely something worth considering, and the fact that it's a touch spell means you can channel this through your weapon. Next, we have Glitter Dust. It's a classic any caster that has this, in particular yourself, given the types of targets you're going to be going for. That's Glitter Dust. Target a 10-foot radius in 100 feet plus 10 feet every caster level and coat it with golden glitter for 1 round per level. Targets in the area make will saves or be blinded and take a -40 penalty to stealth. Invisible creatures are thereby revealed. And this is useful for you because, in particular, as I said, it has to do with the kinds of targets you're going for. Namely, you're going to be really well suited to hitting enemy spellcasters, and a great defense against a melee striker is to turn invisible. This reduces that effectiveness of invisibility quite drastically, affects a significant area from a good range, and can really let you close in on a target that might be trying to escape. But of course, there's more, always is. Moving on from there, we have Mirror Image. It's a standard action to cast. Create 1d4 plus 1 per caster level images of yourself. When an attack roll is made against you, roll randomly to determine if you're hit or if a double is hit. This lasts for 1 minute per level, which is going to get you through possibly a couple of pretty good fights. Now, this is something, because it takes a standard action, that is going to affect your action economy. Ideally, you're going to throw this down before you engage in combat, have your defenses up and ready to go. But even in a pinch where it's a very dire situation, this can still be incredibly useful to you. The next spell is Bear's Endurance, and its value is going to depend just a little bit. Touch target creature and grant a +4 enhancement bonus to Constitution for 1 minute per level. Again, another generous time there. The bonus to Constitution is useful for a lighter striker such as a Magus, but the problem is that it's an enhancement bonus. So if you were to come across, say, a belt that enhanced your Constitution score, then it's not going to stack together. The superior bonus is going to be the one that applies in that instance. So if you're in a position where you're not getting a lot of magic items, or you're not really able to lock down more than one belt or item to enhance your constitution score, then this can end up being very valuable for you in the long term. However, the moment you do, or if you end up with, say, two, one to split between you and the paladin, one for each of you, then, you know, this spell will drop off in usefulness significantly pretty fast, and might well be worth you just never really having to learn again. So this one is a bit situational, and I'd say just kind of pay attention to what's going on as far as the campaign goes. Now, the next and final spell that we have to cover here is Alter Self. This lets you turn yourself into a small or medium humanoid creature for 1 minute per caster level. If your form has any of the following abilities, you gain them: dark vision out to 60 feet, low light vision, scent, and swim speed of 30 feet. If you turn into a small humanoid creature, you gain a +2 size bonus to your dexterity score. If you become a medium creature, you gain a +2 size bonus to your strength. Now, the size bonuses, that's great. You're only ever going to have one source of a size bonus in most situations, and that's going to be whatever your actual size is. So those bonuses can seem to be pretty useful. A bonus to dex with our build, that's exactly right up our alley. And dark vision's useful, low light vision is useful, scent can be incredibly useful, and a swim speed, depending on the campaign, it's either going to be completely irrelevant or at nigh on the most important skill you could have to avoid drowning. So why isn't this great? It's because all you really need to do to gain the effects that you want, at least as far as the size bonus goes, is use Reduce Person on yourself, because then you're going to get the bonuses to dex. Sure, your equipment is going to change size with you and become, say you use your cutlass or a rapier or a scimitar, that damage die is going to reduce, but a bulk of your damage is going to come from your spell combat abilities, your ability to channel touch spells through your weaponry. That's where the bulk of your damage is going to come in anyways, and all of these other effects like dark vision, low light vision, you can get them from other sources. If you're a tiefling or any other particular creature that has dark vision inherently, this already does a lot less for you in that instance. So, Alter Self, especially given that you're not going to quite have the same range and number of spells, you're going to be focused more on your combat spells than other classes might be, simply because of how your class mechanics work. So a spell like Alter Self, where you have other means of replicating these effects and not have to burn a second level spell, which, bear in mind, you're not a full spellcasting class like a wizard or a sorcerer, so you're not going to have quite so many options to play around with, or at least not the freedom to play with necessarily all of these different options. So this disinclines you to using a spell like Alter Self, especially when you have lower level spell options that replicate one of the more important effects, which is giving you that +2 size bonus to your dexterity score. So Alter Self is going to be something you really want to avoid, but there's plenty of other spells that fit that description too, like Burning Sphere. Burning Sphere, you have to use a standard action to control it and move it around the battlefield. That's not great for you at all, especially when you need to be in close doing combat anyways. So there's lots of things to look at and think about, but as I said, this guide is just that. It's a guide, so if there are spells that you really like, or that you just come across that you think, yeah, why not? Let's add this to the repertoire. This fits with my character. They consume all the knowledge that they can and try to find ways to make it useful, then do that. But with that said, what do you think? Go on down to the comments below and let me know your thoughts. Did you like today's video? Did you dislike it? Hit the like or dislike buttons and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you've made it this far, then go on down there, hit the subscribe button, and become a regular member here at the Gamer's Den. But with all that said, I've been your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire. Thank you all so very much for your time. Good gaming to you all, and you all have yourselves a good night.